Hey there, young man. See you a minute?
Sure. Hey, Paul. It's all yours. You wasn't fooling nobody, mister. We knowed you was a big league scout all the time.
Big Leagues is a horse of a completely different color. Right now, our deal is for you to report to the Houston Club of the Texas League for a look-see. And if you make good, the National League's your next stop, St. Louis. St. Louis Cardinals. That's as far as anybody can go.
I ain't fixing to tell you your business, mister, but why don't you sign me up for St. Louis right now? Cut out all this Houston shenanigans.
I promise you to take a very careful look at you, Houston.
That's all the doggone promise I need. I sure would like for you to give my brother Paul a try, too. I wish I could make you understand, mister. As much a better a pitcher as I am than Paul, that's how much a better pitcher he is than me.
I'm sure. And maybe some other time.
Hey, look it. Paul's gonna let Dewey have his big one right now. That was right careless of Paul.
See you in Houston, Dean. I sure envy you guys. I wish I could stay in the same place more than overnight. No fun beating the bushes day after day, believe me.
Be hearing from you, huh, Jim?
Right.
You know, if you'd follow through a mite faster with that shoulder, you'd get maybe twice as much steam back of that ball. A fella learned me that in Texarkana one time.
Oh, Dean.
How are you, Mr. Horst? You know, I've been aiming to say hello to you all morning, but they keep a fella so doggone busy around here.
This guy you're teaching how to pitch.
Nice fella.
All he did was lead the Texas League in pitching last year.
And him without a fastball. What do you know?
How they been treating you?
Oh, fine. Say, Mr. Horst, I was wondering, this number they gave me, 17, now it's going to keep on being my number after St. Louis sends for me, ain't it? Because it'd be a doggone shame to mix those folks up.
Well, there's no rule about that. Except all I'd say is you have to make good with Houston first.
Well, now, there's another thing I want to ask you about while
it's about your brother Paul. I wrote you several times.
How you people claim to be looking for pitches and don't recognize a man that can just...
Well, look, we all make mistakes, Dean. You just have to forgive us.
Well, I just hope you don't wind up with one of them American League clubs, because if Paul was to get in the World Series and win 4 games against the St. Louis Cardinals, you'd have an awful lot of explaining to do.
You're forgetting something. Paul winning 4 games against St. Louis with you pitching for St. Louis?
It'd be mighty close, no question of that.
You're facing that ball pretty good today.
Yeah, swinging where they're pitching it.
Come out with the soap. I'm not throwing much this spring, but I'm going to do a lot of running.
Say, Bill, don't forget I'm right with you.
Yeah, well, hurry up. Kenny, I'll see you with Jack's at 8, right? Yeah.
What happened? I didn't see the ball, I tell you. I lost it to the sun.
Hey, how's Mabel? Is she still with the phone company? Yeah, I'm still giving out wrong numbers. I sure hope Jackson makes out with the card. Yeah, he's a good hustler.
That there was my fastball. Now, why have nobody never told me about them mirrors before?
I beg your pardon?
Well, I can really see what he looks like when he's working. Most times that's all he needs with fastball.
Will that be all, sir? Everything to the same address? Haberdashery and shoes and
Sucker
suit?
missed that one a foot.
Could I have your name, Mr.
Dean. Jerome Harmon Dean. Mrs. Berger's boarding house, 38 Mesa Street.
Have you a charge account, Mr.
Yeah, I
Dean?
want the whole thing charged to the Houston Baseball Club. I'm their best pitcher. Only any day I'm moving up to St. Louis Cardinals.
I wonder if you'd mind talking to our credit department. Mr. Dean.
I don't mind talking to nobody.
The elevator operator will direct you. I'm certain everything will be quite in order.
It sure was quite in order. All them shirts, socks, ties, and a brand new suit.
Come in. Come right in, Mr. Dean.
Oh, you know who I am, huh? Must have been my picture in one of them newspapers.
Mr. Voorhees of the men's department called a few minutes ago. Your request is slightly irregular,
Well,
but
I'll be irregular in a couple of days, don't you worry. Yeah, they made them breeches a little long, ain't they?
normally we require written authorization since the charge isn't your own. But because you're in such a hurry for the merchandise, I've put in a call from Mr. Monroe, the manager of the club, for his approval.
Excuse me, ma'am, but ain't you pretty young to be a credit manager?
It's the custom of this office, Mr. Dean, for the credit manager to ask the questions and the customer to... But just this once, for your information, I'm not the credit manager. Mr. Gallagher, the regular credit manager, is on his vacation, and I'm taking his place until...
Okay, so now we know Mr. Gallagher's name, and you know mine, Jerome Harmon Dean. What's yours?
Pat Nash.
Well, it's nice. Pat.
Patricia. My parents were sort of hoping for a boy, I think.
They sure got a wrong number.
Hello? Oh, yes, Mr. Monroe. This is the Houston Emporium. I have a Jerome Harmon Dean in my office, and he claims he's a pitcher with
Not claims, is a pitcher.
He's purchased merchandise here in the amount of $137.64 and asks that it be charged to the club. Well, thank you very much. Certainly. He wants to talk to you.
I figured you wouldn't watch a star pitcher running around here looking like some freak or scarecrow or something, so I...
You know, you're 2 hours late. You know, I just had to walk a half a mile and climb 2 flights of stairs to okay that trousseau you're buying. Huh? Oh, I don't mind okaying the money. You figure to be around here for a couple of weeks anyway until the hitters start getting back in the groove. Now get right over here, do you hear me?
Mr. Monroe sure was mad. No fooling.
Well, that seems to take care of your business, Mr. Dean. I'll okay the charge and let Mr.
If it wasn't for that, I'd ask you to have lunch with me. But I reckon I better beat it back. Why don't me and you have supper together tonight?
Because I have another engagement for one reason.
Did you have it before I asked you? Look, lady, a fella can't turn around in this town without seeing signs saying, Houston welcomes you. Anything Houston can do to make you happy, and there ain't no such thing as a stranger in Houston. You gonna make a sucker out of Houston?
You're making it very personal.
Look, lady, I got her. I don't know no other person in this whole town. I just got me a brand new suit, new shirt, new tie, socks, shoes. Well, I'm brand new all over.
You want to know something, Mr. Dean?
You gonna have supper with me?
I was just going to say that it's a good thing you're not an international swindler just spending a couple of hours in Houston between trains. I'm afraid you'd walk off with the store.
Are you gonna have supper with me?
Someplace where the Houston Ball Club has a charge account?
I'm glad you reminded me. I'll ask Mr. Monroe, I'll tell him this afternoon. 7 o'clock?
I haven't said...
And you ain't gonna get no chance to neither. I'll be there at 7.
1 minute, Mr. Dean. Don't you even want to know the address? Because it's 258 Academy Street.
258 Academy. Mr. Monroe said I should come here. Said he figured if I was going to have a couple of drinks, I should go someplace where you could be sure about the liquor. Guess what he don't know don't hurt him none. I don't drink.
Not even moonshine? I thought in Arkansas...
I quit that when I was 7. I don't smoke neither. Never even started that. Guess that's because they passed the jug around for free, but paper and tobacco and cigarettes, pipes, you know, well, that costs money. Well, there's a lot of things I guess I don't do and don't know just because I never knowed there was them things, or else it was out of my league. But now, like, you take my English. I practically never went to school, and the folks I growed up with never went to school neither, so I never learned nothing from them. Well, like in the way of English and book reading and like that.
Well, we're kind of in the same boat. Because until recently, I never did anything but go to school. In Biloxi, Mississippi. I've only been in Houston a few months, and you see, the people I grew up with all went to school. So I was never able to learn anything from them except, what did you call it? English and book reading and like that. And well, that's just the other side of the same coin.
I wished I knowed what you was talking about.
Tell me some more about when you were very young.
You really want to know? You not just...
I'm not just...
Well, like I'm saying, when I was 6, alongside my brother Paul, I was planting in the field behind a team of mules. Well, when I was going on 10, I could do a man's work. It weren't nothing for me to pick 400 to 500 pounds of cotton a day.
A day?
Sure, a day. All you do is get up 5 in the morning, set the milking, eat some sow belly and black-eyed peas, and get out in the field. It's that simple.
It's that simple.
Wasn't until a couple of years ago me and Paul had a pair of shoes. Piece, of course. Them was our winter shoes. We took them off in the summer to save the leather. Of course, that don't really hurt a person none, because, well, it's warm in Arkansas in the summer. Warm. Doggone, it's hot. Well, we was just like everybody else around where we was. Do you know what you're doing? You got your hand on mine.
I didn't think that just the weight of my hand on yours would bother you.
Well, it don't really bother me none. I mean, it bothers me terrible.
That make it better?
Well, yes and no.
I think you'd better take me home, Jerome. I have a big day's work ahead of me tomorrow.
Whatever you say. And I don't have to see no credit manager here neither. Mr. Monroe, he called before I come.
You might be missing something. She might be very cute.
Nope, because I asked. He's 64 years old, bald as a billiard ball, and got store teeth.
I've had a very pleasant evening.
Same here. Only I sure am sorry about tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, I don't quite understand.
Well, they's having one of them Chamber of Commerce smokers, and the whole team has to go. Supposed to be there around 6:30, so it wouldn't even work out for me and you to have supper together first. I guess I should have told you earlier, but, well, I was afraid it'd spoil your evening. But don't you worry none. I'll make sure to make it the next night. From now on, there ain't gonna be no more Chamber of Commerces, nor Lions, nor Rotaries, nor nothing. Me and you is having supper together every night. Ball player ain't no slave.
Jerome.
Because between the time I leave that park and get back the next day, well, I'm on my own time. If I want to spend it with my girl...
Jerome, aren't you taking an awful lot for granted?
No, ma'am, because in any other line of work, it's none of the boss's business what a fella does from the time he quits till that whistle blows again in the morning.
It would never occur to you, would it?
It certainly would not. I get paid for pitching, not for doing no Chamber of Commerce smokers. And like I told you, I don't even smoke.
Good night, Jerome.
Good night.
You're not getting tired, are you?
How can a fella get tired playing ball?
Well, you better call it a day just the same.
Whatever you say, Mr. Monroe.
I told you to call me Ed.
I forgot again, didn't I? Well, now, you see, I got me a friend back in River Creek named Ed Halliday. And, well, it may take me a couple of days. See, first time I ever knowed two Eds.
I got a solution for you. Till you get it all straightened out, just call me Ed and this other fella, Mr. Halliday.
Oh, I've known Ed Halliday all my life. I couldn't call him mister.
Would you get over to the clubhouse and get dressed and get back to your boarding house and get a good night's sleep like I told you?
Okay, Mr. Ed. Ain't it been a wonderful day?
Night, Pat. Good night.
Hi, Pat. You wasn't in, so I decided to wait. I figured you was probably... Well, they sprang a new one on me today, so I beat it over here just as fast as I could. I can't pick you up at your house at 7 like we arranged. We're going to have an early supper, because I got to get to bed by 9. I promised Mr. Monroe... There, I forgot again. He told me I should call him Ed.
Jerome.
And that Chamber of Commerce, that weren't no fun at all. A lot of guys speaking speeches and smoking cigars, telling me how they used to watch Christy Mathewson and Roger Bresnahan. Well, I'd have much rather been with you.
Just a minute, Jerome. Thank you very much about you'd rather have been with me. But we might as well get something straight. You just said that we arranged for you to pick me up at my house at 7. But we didn't arrange. You arranged. You also arranged we would have supper last night. And it was only because the Chamber of Commerce... Well, I have something to say about whom I have supper with and when.
Well, now, I told you nobody never learned me no manners. I guess I've been kind of unpolite. So I'm asking you right now. Why don't me and you have supper together tonight? Only it's got to be someplace right around here because I got to get back to Mrs. Berger's and hit the hay early.
Well, thank you very much, but I have another appointment for supper.
You haven't. Well, now I'm real disappointed. But if you promised some girlfriend you was going to eat with her, well, I guess there's nothing I can do about it. Only you got to be out the ballpark tomorrow. You see, that's why I got to get to bed early. We're playing an exhibition game against them Chicago White Sox, and I'm pitching. Starting pitcher. Mr. Monroe, Ed, he talked like he was doing me a favor when he told me about it.
Pitching against the Chicago White Sox? Well, that's pretty important, isn't it?
Ed says. He keeps telling me it ain't usually to start nobody in a game against a big league club what ain't only been up as little a while as I've been, but on account I'm in better shape. Well, I'll murder them White Sox. Now, you and your girlfriend is going to see... Wait a minute. You eating supper with a fella tonight? Going steady with this guy?
That isn't any of your business, is it?
You are or you ain't?
I are and I ain't. Does that answer your question? And I've got to go home now, if you don't mind.
Well, I'll walk you over the bus. This fella, you known him a long time?
You can walk me over the bus if you'd like, but we won't discuss this fellow anymore. If you don't mind, Jerome.
Okay.
And I really will be at the game tomorrow. And I'm sure I'll be very proud of you. Win or lose?
Lose? You know something, Pat? You got a doggone good sense of humor.
Hey, where are you going?
Oh, I got a friend I gotta see.
You're crazy. You're pitching today.
I'm all warmed up. Besides, you told me yourself, quit throwing and relax. Now, only be a minute.
Jerome.
Hi, Pat. Paul! Paul!
Hi, Jay.
Why'd you let me know you was coming, Paul? I'd have met you.
I only made up my mind all of a sudden, so I got Mr. Joplin to figure out the buses for me, and Mrs. Joplin, she fixed me up some chow.
I'm sure glad to see you, Paul.
I've been watching them White Sox at batting practice, Jay. Some of them fellas...
Them fellas are just Logansbury Dam, Oklahoma to me, Paul. Every one of them. Only got Chicago on a shirt. You're sure looking good, Paul.
Except anything can happen in just one ball game, Jay. Like that time Joe Medford from Pine Bluff got his chance with the New York Giants. And just the one error he made. Losing the ball in the sun like anybody could, and he was through before he even got started. You just gotta beat them fellas today, Jay.
I'm gonna, Paul. Now, don't worry. I'm gonna.
I'll be pulling for you. By rights, I shouldn't have left my job. I gotta be going back on the midnight bus. But there wasn't gonna be nothing keeping me from seeing this game.
I sure wish you could stay, Paul. There's a girl I met the other day.
Chicago, Carroll and Monette. For Houston, Dean and Matthews.
It sure sounds great. For Houston, Dean and Matthews.
Come on, Paul.
The Houston Buffs are now taking the field.
This is my brother, Paul. This is the girl I was talking to you about.
Hello. Mr. Bishop, Mr. Jerome Dean.
How do you do?
And Mr. Paul Dean.
Mr. Bishop.
How do you do?
I'm Patricia Nash.
Glad to know you.
I thought maybe it'd be more sociable and Paul wouldn't be so lonely if he was to sit with you.
Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
Hey, Dean! What's going on here?
I'm sorry, Mr. Ed, but I just got word my brother Paul was here. This here is Paul. Why don't you get yourself a mitt and go on out the bullpen and let Paul show you what he's got? He's got a lot of stuff, Paul has.
Get out there and pitch.
Oh, thanks for bringing me my glove, Ed.
Pleased to meet you, Ed. Mr. Monroe.
Come on, let's get this thing started.
Hold your horses, Bub. You strike out quick enough.
He's amazing, your friend Dean.
Ain't you Tommy Alexander, the one that tell me kills a high, fast ball inside?
Come on, pusher, throw the ball.
Because that's just what I'm throwing you, mister. High, fast, and inside. Just to keep the both of us honest.
Come on. Steve, right? Steve, right?
Got a pretty safe lead now, I'd say. 3-0 and just 2 more men to get out.
He's pitching good, but he ain't out of the woods yet.
D, right? Certainly leaned on that one.
Don't let it bother you none, Jimmy. Don't let it bother you none.
All right, knock this dizzy kid out of the box, Joe. He'll fold like an accordion. Take a good cut of it, Joe. Let's drive this busher dizzy. In there, keep firing. Laugh him, Jeff. He's dizzy, that's what he is, dizzy. Yeah, you'll be back at the pool room in a week, Dizzy. It's a little too rough for you, huh?
We're just gonna have to show him who's dizzy. Dizzy.
Atta boy, let's get busy on Dizzy.
Oh, buddy. Hey, the old life in there.
D, right? Duck when you throw, Dizzy, or he'll cut you in half. D, right? D, right? Out. Come on, Busher. Play ball.
What's the matter, Mr. Manager? Just a minute ago, you was calling me dizzy. Don't you love me no more?
Play ball. There's a hitter up there. What hitter?
Don't tell me you quit, too, just 'cause there's 2 out. Why'd you keep calling me dizzy?
Plug it in there, baby. Ho. Oh, buddy. Hey, the old life.
Kid.
I want to apologize to you, That sure was a sorry game I pitched out there today. Them fellas shouldn't have got that 1 hit. I guess I just wasn't watching.
You just keep right on not watching. Say, would you mind telling me again about that shoulder disc?
Sure, I'll lose anytime. Of course, didn't use it myself in the game today. Never needed it.
You done great, Jay.
Thanks, Paul.
Congratulations, Mr. Dean.
Thanks.
I was in Dallas the other day, and down there they tell me they may prove to be pretty tough on you fellas this year. They got some new
I
players.
don't figure to be around this league long enough to know, Mr. Bishop. Figure to be with the St. Louis Cardinals in just a couple of weeks.
Oh, well, nice to have seen you. Let's
Nice
go,
to
Pat.
see you.
Congratulations again, Jerome.
Thanks, Pat.
Bye. Goodbye, Paul.
Bye.
Come on, Paul. Paul.
Oh, glad I met you, Miss Nash. You too, Mr. Bishop.
All right.
Jay, you figure now to make good for sure. Except for that one pitch, you throwed a perfect game.
Paul, that's the most wonderful girl you'll ever meet if you live forever.
She is pretty and polite.
Ain't she polite?
Of course, I couldn't tell much about her figure, but it seemed to me...
One thing, I wasn't so sure of my support. If I was staying here, I'd talk to Mr. Monroe, Ed, about trading some of them fellas.
I was wondering about that shortstop myself. He don't go to his right as good as he should.
I'm crazier about her, Paul, like I've never been about anything in my whole life. Now, you was sitting with her the whole game. This fella Bishop, what do you think?
Look, Jay, what are we talking about? The game or this girl, do you know?
What about Bishop and her?
Yes and no, I'd say.
Jerome, what do you think you're doing?
You got any idea how hard it is to get the end of a ladder here in Houston? One fella started to call the police.
You stay right where you are. You must be crazy.
I am. About you. But you know that, didn't you? And you asked me what did I think I was doing here, didn't you? Well, I'll tell you. I come here to get you to elope.
Elope?
Yeah, I wouldn't be in no such hurry, except that I'm a little worried about that fella Bishop. You don't love him, I know that.
You do?
Yeah, 'cause me and Paul talked it over and we decided. But if you keep on seeing him and not seeing me, well, and especially if the Cardinals send for me, well, that would mean I'd have to live in St. Louis, and, well, he'd be right here in Houston. Well, that's mostly what me and Paul talked about all evening. I love her, I said, and I'd like for her to marry me. Well, will you?
You stay right where you are.
Answer a person's question, won't you? Will you marry me?
Tonight?
Tonight.
No.
Tomorrow morning?
No.
Tomorrow afternoon? Tomorrow afternoon?
I never make dates that far ahead.
Look, Pat, I aim to be polite and friendly 'cause I love you. But I'm going to give me an answer.
Jerome Harmon Dean.
I was just getting closer to make sure you heard me. Tell you the truth, don't have to get no closer 'cause, well, probably you wouldn't know, but I've been runner-up in the hog calling contest in Lucas, Arkansas the last 3 years.
Don't you dare raise your voice.
Will you marry me tomorrow afternoon?
Well, I don't know. Tomorrow afternoon.
We talked to Mr. Ed, me and Paul did over in the clubhouse. And he said that if he didn't have a full player limit right now, why, he'd take a chance. Said he thought he'd get Paul a tryout with St. Joe, Missouri. We told him what we thought about trying out with St. Joe, Missouri. It's the St. Louis Cardinals or nothing for the both of us. Why, if I didn't figure Houston was the same as the Cardinals...
Dizzy.
Huh?
Is that all you've got on your mind, what a good pitcher Paul is?
Well, now, you know better than that.
Do I?
Well, I know what you're wanting me to say. How much I love you, how terrible I love you. Well, I do love you. Just that much and just that terrible. And you know what? I already asked Mrs. Berger over at the boarding house, could I have a double room instead of a single?
You didn't.
I sure did. Because when Paul says a thing's going to happen, it happens. Ain't this just the most wonderful day ever was?
Jerome, if the wedding chapel's on Market Street, aren't you going in the wrong direction?
But I got to stop by the ballpark a minute. There's something that... Well, it's a surprise for you.
Hi, Diz.
Hi, friend. How are you?
What's this all about?
Oh, this won't take just a couple of minutes.
Hello, Dizzy.
How are you, neighbor? Good to see you.
Anything you have to pick up, we could stop by for it later.
Not what I got in mind.
What have you got in mind?
Hello, Diz.
Hello, Larry.
Diz, everything is set. The Dailies are sending out more guys, and I made it sound so important that even the wire service is going to handle it.
What are you talking about?
Well, you see, Pat, I was having breakfast with Larry here this morning. He's press agent for the Houston Ball Club. Lives at Mrs. Berger's boarding house, too. Well, I was just busting with my news. I was that happy. I must have said something to Larry. Can't you read between the lines?
No.
Well, I and Larry here had an idea for me and you to get married at home plate with the game going on.
It's never happened before in baseball history.
And for sure not with a pitcher who just shut out them White Sox with one hit they shouldn't even have got.
Dizzy, Dean. Why, nothing in this whole world could persuade me to start our life together with such a dizzy farce.
But, Miss Nash,
It looks like you'll have to get yourself a substitute quick, doesn't it, Mr. Larry? Maybe the first baseman can do a striptease dance. Or you can persuade Mr. Monroe to roll peanut around the bases with his nose.
Yeah, I'm ashamed of you, Larry. Thinking you could get away with anything as dizzy as asking a girl to start her married life off. Why, there's things a fella just don't do, Larry.
Good luck, Diz.
Thank you, friend. Sure hate to disappoint all them fans.
Mr. Monroe.
You pitched a great game, Diz.
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
Sign here, sir.
It finally come, huh? Hot dog.
Hey, wait a minute.
We have redeposited your check per your instructions.
Give me that.
Well, now, I thought sure that was from the St. Louis Cardinals.
I'll let you know as soon as they send for you, if they do.
Can you figure them Cardinals? They need me bad. You'd think they'd have sense enough to send a fellow
Hey,
down
hold
here.
up traffic.
Conley, I'll bet you anything that St. Louis has been hollering on Ed to send me along, but he keeps it to himself.
This is no time to be clowning around with Conley.
How can an outfielder make 3 errors in 1 inning?
I already got me most strikeouts for 10 consecutive games, and I'd have pitched me a shutout today if it hadn't been for them 3 errors that... Mighty classy haircut you got there, Conley. Where'd you get it? So there I am, full of charm, if you ask me. Figuring he'll forget I mentioned them 3 errors, because I just told him what a classy haircut he got when he hauls off and clouts me one.
Will you be quiet? You're supposed to keep this cloth pressed very hard over your eye.
So down I go. And then I get up to say a few words, because to my mind, when people are going to do some fighting, they first got to make remarks to each other. I just figured out a dandy wisecrack for
Will
him.
you be quiet?
No, not him. He don't do no talking. He just lets me have another one, and down I go again. You know something, Pat? Me and him never did get to talking, and I never got so tired of getting knocked down in my whole life. Old dear sure lost that one. Oh, hey, that's cold.
Not cold enough.
Wait, look,
Hey,
how cold it is. I still got time to field me a couple of bunts, Paul. Herbie, you can be like you're playing first. Hiya, Pat.
You told me when you left this morning the fish stopped biting at 4 o'clock. Well, it's nearly 6.
Yeah, well, I was coming right home, but me and Paul and Herbie, we thought we'd have us a little game of catch for a minute or two. Well, I got a whole creel full. Trout. Nice fat ones.
It was all my fault. I brought the ball and bat. Jay, he specially ordered me not to.
And you just happened to bring along a couple of gloves, I suppose.
Sometimes you get a little cold sitting in the fishing, but you can always get warm just throwing a ball around. And I thought...
Well, I guess I might as well face it. I'm married to a Huckleberry Finn. All his playmates are Huckleberry Finns, too. Come on, Huck.
You gotta work tomorrow, huh?
And a good thing, too, I think, Jay. She's mad.
Oh, no, she couldn't be mad on me and you, never, Paul. She knows she comes first with us.
And baseball.
Oh, of course, baseball. Wait a minute, Pat.
All 4, and that's 2 walks in a row for New York, and it looks like that might be all for Ormansky. Of course, we can't tell, but out in the bullpen warming up is number 17, and that's Jerome Harmon Dean, the Dizzy Dean we've all been hearing about. So maybe this will be the day the St. Louis fans will get their first look at Mr. Dean. He's certainly a most colorful character to break into baseball in a long time. That's without question. But except for that one exhibition game against the White Sox in Houston, he's never shown what he can do against major league competition. And there have been a lot of morning glories that have come and gone. Because whoever leaves Ormansky, he's certainly in a tough spot with the score 3-2 in favor of St. Louis and the Giants with men on first and second and only 1 out. So if it's Dizzy Dean, there'll be a real chance now to see if he really pitches as well as he talks, or if he just... That's right, they're taking the ball away from Ormansky, and here comes Dean in from the bullpen.
Your attention, please. Dean, number 17, now pitching for St. Louis.
Dizzy is now on the mound, and he... Well, what do you know? He doesn't want any practice pitches. He's motioning the batter to get into the batter's box. So, folks, we shall see what we shall see. Here comes the pitch. Olson swings, and it's a sharp single to center, right over Weaver's head. Weatherby is being held at third, and Jones has gone into second, standing up. And Olson, who rounded first, has returned to the bag. So now there are 3 men on base and only 1 out. Mr. Dizzy Dean is going to have to come up with something fast.
Hi.
Dizzy's calling time. Wants to talk it over with the catcher.
Well, it's not regular, but I don't know why not.
Billy.
Huh?
Dizzy said for you not to worry, Mrs. Dean. The ball just slumped.
Slumped. Thanks, Billy.
Play ball!
Here's the pitch. It's a bunt down the third baseline. Dizzy's over after it. He picks it up, tags the runner, and throws to first for a double play. The side is retired, folks, and the giant threat is over.
Right now, there's one more thing. Where were you born and when?
What'd you say?
I said, for part of my story, where were you born? What day?
Holdenville, Oklahoma, August the 22nd, 1911. About 4 in the morning.
Well, much obliged, Dizzy. Hey, I almost forgot. When were you born?
January 16th, 1911. Lucas, Arkansas.
Thanks, Dizzy.
All ball players talk as freely as you do, Diz. I'd be a lot happier. Me and the Brooklyn Eagle.
Thanks. I'll be seeing you.
Oh, by the way, Diz, where were you born?
Biloxi, Mississippi, October 12, 1911. A new cut road, I seen a terrapin and a toad. Every time the toad he jump, old terrapin hid behind a stump. Hold my mule while I dance Josie ho. Hello, supervisor. This here is Dizzy Dean. Well, now you're kidding. You mean you really well, never mind. Look, I've been to bat with 3 operators, and it seems to me I ain't been unreasonable. No, I don't want you to string no telephone line out into no cotton field. I maybe had me an idea like something like that before, but I give it up. Now, what I want now is for you to get hold of Ed Halliday. He's in charge of your River Creek branch, and well, that'll be fine. I'll be right there awaiting. Thank you very much.
What now?
She says they ain't been paying me no mind anyhow. They've been trying to get hold of Ed Halliday, only his office has been closed for lunch. But as soon as he gets back... Ain't it just wonderful, Pat?
Just the most wonderful thing that ever happened.
Say, Roy Stockton in the Post-Dispatch called me a zany the other night. What's a zany?
A zany is a pitcher that was born in Lucas, Arkansas, January 16th, 1911, and in Holdenville, Oklahoma, August 22nd, 1911, and Biloxi, Mississippi, October 12th, 1911.
Well, now, them 3 fellas all wanted exclusive stories, and I wanted to give them a break. And that Biloxi, I just threw that in to make you happy.
Thank you very much.
Hello. Oh, hello, Ed. Ed, beat it out that cotton patch where Paul's a-working and tell him the good news and let me know what he says right away. What? Oh, I forgot to tell you, yeah. The Cardinals, they're sending Paul a contract. They want him to start pitching for him next spring. No. He don't have to ask Mr. Morgan to hold his job for him. Listen, a fella that figures to pitch in every World Series every fall for the St. Louis Cardinals from now on, well, he can forget about chopping cotton. are, City. It's yours two right here. Lady, you take that one, then you won't get bumped with people going up and down. You sit right there, so you get a good view of the pitcher's mound right from here.
You're some guy, Dick.
Hey, Paul, don't give that box 311 to nobody. Keep saving it for a friend of Mr. Ricky's.
Right.
Right. Here you are, sir, right here.
Doing the upper grandstand, please.
Yes, sir.
Say, aren't you dizzy, Dean?
Well, I got to kill time somehow. 270 out of 5, Paul.
Coming up.
Thank you. There you are, sir.
You two, Deans, the guy gets his money's worth before he even gets in the grandstand.
Nice fellow,
My talking to you is completely off of the record, of course, but you've just got to call off the strike. You're going to have to pay those fines. It's all part of a discipline that you just simply have to have, or you can't have a ball club.
Just because I happen to be sleeping when we get to Elmira and don't wake up when a train gets to Pittsburgh.
Then you kept right on sleepwalking all the way through Pittsburgh to a little fishing hole about 60 miles up to Monongahela.
Well, I like fishing. So does Paul. We don't see nothing wrong. We find ourselves a day without a regularly scheduled game.
That's a matter for the club to decide, Diz. Where and when to use you.
And that time we missed our train in Chicago. There was a kids' baseball tournament scheduled that day, and me and Paul, we'd promised them.
Those promises have to go through the club. We're as interested in having kids play baseball and love baseball as you are. But we've got a pennant to win, and... How about you, Paul? You feel the way Diz does?
Always. About everything.
Why don't you be good soldiers, both of you? Put your shoulder to the wheel and let it be one for all and all for one. Everybody pulling together.
Frankie, my shoulder's lopsided on one side from that wheel. I've done every doggone thing I could for this club except sell hot dogs. Now, if there's one thing nobody can say about me, Frankie, is that I'm boastful. And so I got a right to remind you that I'm a sure thing right now to win 30 games, just like I said before the season started. I already won me more games than anybody in the whole league all of last year. And speaking of last year, I struck me out 199 men. And in July, I set me a world's record, striking out 17 of them Chicago Cubs in one game. And you can't strike out more than 27 no matter how hard you try.
Nobody's questioning how great a pitcher you are, Dizzy. Or Paul either. I'll give you a ring tonight. Think it over, fellas. Hard.
I got a notion they've been thinking all along we didn't mean it. Well, now they know.
I'm with you, Jay, whatever you decide, but do you think we're doing right?
I don't think I know.
Paul, I'd like to talk to Jerome alone. We'll see you in the dining room at 6:30, right?
Whatever you say, Pat.
I sure do admire you, Pat, the way you kept quiet with that Frankie Fresh the way you did. Because there ain't nobody knows better than me how you can really let a fella have it when you're mad. At that, I ain't so sure if you'd have told him a few...
Dizzy.
Because coming from you, he might have caught on. Yeah?
For 2 days, I've listened to you, and I haven't said a word. Because it's something you've got to figure out for yourself. You see, there are things you do or don't do different from other people because you're you and, well, they're other people. That's why it wouldn't make any sense for me to tell you how I'd handle this thing. You've got to handle it yourself. I'd just like to make sure that it's the real you.
I know what I'm doing.
I'm hoping you don't.
You're just afraid me and Paul is going to lose this strike.
I'm afraid you'll win it. I'm afraid you'll keep on with your notion that anything that seems to you like a good idea at the moment, well, like a child stealing cookies 5 minutes before dinner just because he's alone in the kitchen and, well, you just can't always have things the way you want them. Things happen that, well, that you have to adjust yourself to and that you haven't the power to change. Unless you insist on twisting and bending and forcing everything out of its natural shape just so that you can... Well, even then, most of the time, it doesn't work out.
Well, this here's going to work out. Last thing in this world I ever thought you'd do, Pat, was to quit on me.
Thanks. Thanks again. Say, aren't you Dizzy Dean?
Yeah, I'm Diz. Only most people don't recognize me without a uniform.
I don't think I've missed a home game you pitched since you've been with the Cardinals.
It is quite some fancy doodads you got in there.
Well, you see, I've had to make certain adjustments. I was lucky enough to be able to afford these gadgets. Of course, I haven't been able to lick getting in and out of the car completely yet, but I will.
Sure must be tough.
Not as tough as pitching to Bill Terry, I'll bet.
Well, I only get him 4 or 5 times a season.
Well, I do get in and out of this thing a little oftener than that every day.
Hey, I ain't doing nothing this afternoon. Why don't I drive around with you? We could chew the fat.
And you can help me in and out, you mean, don't you? I'd be delighted. Thanks. My father happens to be connected with the brewing company. That's why I'm learning the brewing business.
You work things out that way? I ought to be a sharecropper. What am I lying about? I ought to be a sharecropper.
I can't tell you how much I admire people who do it the hard way.
You kidding? You must have had it tougher than anybody I know.
Not at all. I just had to face facts, that's all. You can't not face facts, can you? Because even if you do turn away from them, they move around with you. If you turn your back on them, they get behind you. There you are. I know it's none of my business, Mr. Dean.
Call me Diz, huh?
Diz. I'm a great Cardinal fan, and... Well, is it really true you're on strike against the club, you and your brother? There was a piece in the paper last night. I guess I didn't want to believe it.
Yeah, we're on kind of strike, me and Paul.
If you'd like, I'd be glad to talk to my father. He could probably organize a committee and see that you get the proper backing and support from the fans.
Why'd you want to go and do that for?
Because I know whatever you're doing, you and your brother, you've thought it out and it's the right thing. You know you've helped me with my exercises, don't you?
Huh?
My therapy, I mean. I took my doctor to the game one day, and he said that just the body English I use trying to help you out in every pitch you throw. I can get along without half an hour of massage every morning.
We can go now. What's so hard to understand what I'm saying, Paul? We calling the strike off.
Yeah, but what am I going to tell the reporters, Jay?
Just what I said. That you just can't keep on doing what seems to you to be a good idea at the moment. Like a kid stealing cookies out of a cookie jar 5 minutes before supper just because he's alone in the kitchen.
But you've been saying...
Well, then you must have heard me wrong. There's times a person got to adjust. You can't go twisting and bending and turning things like... Well, now there's situations, and you got to face facts. And even if you turn away from them facts, they'll move right around with you. Sometimes if you turn your back on those facts altogether, why, they'll slip right around behind you and come up staring you square in the face.
If you say so, Jay. Only we should just tell me in plain words how we stand. We're striking or we ain't striking.
I figure to go against Pittsburgh tomorrow and you Thursday. Now, that's 2 more games we win. And even if we pay that $200 fine, why, with a World Series dough, we'll get us $3,000 or $4,000 more than we figured on.
Jay, it ain't your idea we give the club back that money now, is it?
Oh, no. You see, they got to face facts, too.
Jerome.
I tell you what, Paul. Why don't you meet us in the dining room about 6:30?
Yeah, the way things happen around here, seems like the only thing I'm sure of is I'm eating with you and Pat at 6:30. If I am.
And so we go into the last inning of the last game of this year's World Series, folks, with St. Louis ahead 11-0. It's an anticlimax, no question of that, but it has been a bitterly contested series with the teams even-steven at 3 games apiece until today. But unless Detroit can come through with a miracle, it'll mean that Dizzy and Daffy have each won 2 of the St. Louis 4. Right now, this Detroit crowd is pretty quiet and hopeless. They seem to sense that with Dizzy Dean at the top of his form, there's very little chance for that miracle.
It's been a great series. He's quite a boy, that Diz.
What makes you say boy, Johnny?
Just an expression. You know.
Time.
Dizzy's called for time. The catcher's going out to meet it.
I still don't understand. What do they say to each other, the pitcher and the catcher?
Some kind of strategy. Sometimes they're afraid the other team is stealing their signals.
So you know that double-barrel shotgun you said your uncle wanted to sell? I was wondering if you could get him to ship it to me in Lucas, Arkansas. I could let him know in 24 hours, do I like it or don't I? I was afraid you might get dressed and beat out of the locker room after the game before I get a chance to talk to you.
Sure, Diz. Looks like they talked it over and decided to pitch to the guy.
You know everything, don't you, Eddie?
I wished I knowed what to do about Paul. He ain't never acted like this in all the years that I know him. That's all the years that there is.
You really oughtn't to be angry with him just because he doesn't want to go duck hunting with you. It's not a
I can't figure what's so important he's got to do that he'd know about a week ahead of time. He's been acting mysterious ever since we got back. He can't go fishing, he can't play ball,
Darn,
he
that's
can't...
the third stitch I've dropped on this row already. This slings.
Pat, why don't me and you go on over to Little Rock tomorrow and look up one of them real doctors? Now, I know it's probably nothing, except I don't like to see you slip and hurt yourself
I
all
don't
the
slip
time.
and hurt myself. It's just that
It's just that in St. Louis, you slipped and got your whole shoulder all black and blue. In September, the day I shut out the Cubs 4-0. And here, the day before yesterday, I come back from fishing, find your whole arm in a sling. You slip and bump your elbow that bad. Now, why don't me and you go on over to Little Rock and see one of them real doctors?
I'm all right, I tell you.
Hi, Jay.
Where's your shotgun?
I ain't got none.
But I heard you and I seen that duck drop.
Oh, that wasn't me.
Proud of me?
Well, I don't know, because I don't get it.
I had a teacher start to learn to shoot in St. Louis, but she kind of hurt her shoulder and she got discouraged. I guess he wasn't too good a teacher.
But I was determined I wasn't going to be a hunting widow again this winter.
And maybe I ain't such a good teacher neither, because last week she bumped her elbow pretty hard when she wasn't looking for the recoil.
Okay, Pat. You win. But as soon as we get back up to the hotel, I'm going to learn me to crochet.
Jay, here comes a whole flock full. Jay, Pat. It's only fair we should start even.
There's 2 away with nobody on, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Evans.
Warren, let me have a look at it. Better help him over.
I'll help you. The club thinks I'll be spending the day with my arm in one of them diathermy machines. But the doctor says the machine might maybe bring in enough static to interfere with listening on the radio to the All-Star game, so that's out. Tell the truth, I think I'll take me my radio and drive to that little pool above Martin's Landing. You know where I mean, where the creek hits them rocks from all directions at once, and you get a feeling there's probably some trout hanging around don't even know yet fishing is legal in Missouri.
What kind of fly do you imagine he's using for those trout?
I ain't so sure I liked it better when you didn't know nothing about fishing. The club leaving me behind this trip east to give my arm a rest has also given me a good chance to do a little thinking. And the way I figure now, if my arm don't get better pretty quick, I'm going to get out of baseball and see if I can't buy in on that sawmill back in Russellville. So please give my love to Pat. And don't you let them American leaguers get even one hit off of you. You hear, Jay? Your loving bro, Paul. Well, now, who does he think he's fooling? Get out of baseball. Fellow what can remember being out there pitching himself a game every couple of days, he can't forget about baseball.
There are other things when the time comes.
Buying in on a sawmill in Russellville? Fella pitched a no-hit game against Brooklyn. Well, Paul ain't gonna never learn from me. I'm on to him. He wants to pretend he don't mind. I'll keep on pretending I don't mind he don't mind.
It's not the World Series, of course, but every year, this all-star game is becoming more and more of a classic in its own name. For 2 scoreless innings now, the crowd here at Griffith Stadium has been just as tense and alert as if it really were a World Series game. And no wonder, with Red Rolfe, Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio, Joe Cronin, and Phil Dickey, to name just a few, in there for the American League. And Paul Wainer, Ducky Medwick, Johnny Mize, and Gabby Hartnett in the National League lineup, to say nothing of Dizzy Dean himself pitching. Now, here we are, folks, with that dog chased off the field, ready to play ball again. 2 out. Next batter's coming to the plate for the American Leaguers.
Right.
Sorry, Diz. You hadn't even ought to hit it. It was all mine.
You all right, Diz?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Come on, let's carry him off.
You ain't carrying nobody off. I'm finishing this inning.
But, Diz.
I'm finishing this inning.
We've just had word that Dean's injury is not serious and that he will continue to pitch for the National League All-Stars.
He's indestructible.
Well, looks like Diz is undecided about something. Well, here's something new. The Pittsburgh coach is calling time and walking out to talk to Diz.
I know it's not any of my business, Diz, but I've been through these things before. I know what it can mean. That time Rube Marlboro back in Boston. Well, you were hit real hard in Washington on that toe. You're back pitching, too, so...
I don't figure I am.
Like, right now, with one bad pitch, you can ruin your whole career. You can't put any weight on that toe. You're upsetting your whole pitch.
I'm much obliged.
Play ball.
Guess, Mike.
Technically, it's an inflamed deltoid muscle, a stretched and inflamed back muscle, and superdeltoid bursitis, aggravated by a spreading sinus condition. Prognosis doubtful.
All right, what does all that mean?
It means that we don't know whether your arm will respond to treatment or not. The chances are that it won't, enough to suit your professional purposes.
What do you recommend, Doc?
Rest and physiotherapy. As you know, Mr. Frisch, there's a great deal we don't understand when a pitcher's arm goes.
I get it. He just can't pitch no more.
Well, I'm gonna pitch. And I'm gonna pitch just as long as I can put on a uniform.
You promised you wouldn't get excited.
I promised I'd listen quiet. You people talk a little more sense around here and tell me what I could do so I could keep on pitching like I always been. But you can't expect me to stand here and take it when you tell me my arm is gone, because it ain't gone.
Jerome will do everything we can.
cut the plate right in half.
I seen where it went. Now tell me, what do you think? Throw me back the ball.
Strike.
That's all right, huh? But you can't get around facts. Chicago Cubs ain't paid St. Louis $185,000 for nothing. You'll see.
I sure hope so, Jay. But you've been reading yourself where maybe St. Louis seen a chance to get out from under. Chicago figures you'll be a drawing card for them just long enough to make it worth their while. Because, Jay, you got all the control you ever had. More. And somehow you're smarter about what you throw, it seems to me. But your fastball, anything that needs following through.
Folks, I'm not sure, but what this second game of the 1938 World Series may not turn out to be one of the greatest games in World Series history. For here we are at the top half of the fourth inning, and Chicago's leading the Yankees 3-2. And Dizzy Dean, with nothing but a glove and a prayer. That's all he's got left. Except he's Dizzy Dean, setting those Yankees down like the Dizzy Dean he used to be. Crosetti, Roth, Henrik, DiMaggio, Gehrig, and Dickey. You'd have a mighty tough time right now persuading them he's not the old Dizzy Dean. Well, here we are at the top half of the eighth inning. Gordon on first, 2 out, Frankie Crosetti at the plate. Just imagine. Dizzy Dean, the old master, has only 4 more men to put out to win himself a ball game from the New York Yankees.
Call back just 1 year, Frankie, you wouldn't have got even a loud foul off of me. 1 year, that's all.
Nice going, Frank.
You're right, Des.
Your attention, please. French, number 2, now pitching for Chicago.
Feels a little strange, don't it, Diz? Back in the old Texas League?
Well, now, why don't you come right out and ask me? Does it bother me none to be back here in the minor leagues for a spell? Well, I'll tell you, Freddie, not the least little bit. A couple of months of this good, hot Tulsa sunshine, I'll be going right back to Cubs. Besides, I figure I might just pitch you fellas right into a pennant. Couple of warm-up pitches is all I need.
Relax, Diz. They gave you a rough time yesterday. Dennis.
Yeah, Marty.
Get out there and loosen up.
Never fails. You allow yourself plenty of time, and the train's late. But if we'd been late, the train would have been on time.
Hey, Diz. Hi, Mr. Dean.
Hi, Jack.
I tried to catch you at the hotel, but you'd already checked out. Say, what are your plans? I mean, after you get back to St. Louis. There's no question, but you'll do all right in any business you decide. Well, the Dizzy Dean Grill. I can see it all now. The neon lights a mile high.
I ain't opening no Dizzy Dean Grill, and I ain't deciding on no business.
Oh, look. I'm just doing a job. If you don't want to tell me, or if there's something that you haven't worked out yet, that you had a very bad season here. You really wouldn't call it a season. Well, you just tell me what you want me to print, Diz. And you being the guy that you are, I'll print it. The way you say. We've got to run that story tomorrow the Tulsa Club sent us. More about you being given an outright release.
Is everybody going crazy? I had me a couple of tough breaks down here in Tulsa. Lost a couple of close games. Could have gone either way. What are my plans? Well, just because some Bush League club feels... Well, the idea of anybody getting in their head that Tulsa, Oklahoma is going to decide who's a great pitcher and who ain't a great pitcher.
Well, I didn't mean anything, Diz. You say you're going to keep on pitching? Well, that's great with me. So long.
Hi. You want to know something, Pat? It's a doggone good thing for you that we're going home. Ever since you've been down here, you've been nervous and jumped up and kind of tensy. Ready to fly off the handle, the slightest thing. Yes, sir. The sooner we get back to St. Louis, the better. Ain't no question of that.
You'd think it over.
Johnny, I thought it over before you brought it up. And I knowed what you wanted when you sent for me. But thank you very much. I ain't gonna be no salesman. I'm a ball player, a pitcher.
Dude, I never heard of anybody who worked as hard as you did last year, trying to get your arm back in shape. You thought maybe if you could get a job pitching regularly down south where the weather was warmer. Well, you were with Tulsa for 3 months trying to come back.
I ain't never been away. The way you mean? Just because all them front officers sitting back waiting to see what somebody else does about signing me.
Diz, you don't believe that yourself.
Now, don't go telling me what I believe. And don't ever forget, I'm still Dizzy Dean. Come on, Pat, smile for me, will you? Oh, now, I don't like it for you to be mad at me.
That's just it. You get an idea that all you have to do is decide what you like, and we go all the way to Detroit to discuss Mr. Preston's offer, and then you decide that you wouldn't like to stay for one day to think it over.
Well, now, Bill Preston's been a friend of mine for a lot of years. That's why I went to Detroit. He could have come to St. Louis just as easy, of course. But what was there to think over? Huh? Head of the Public Relations Department of Bill Preston Sporting Goods Company? No, thank you. Don't you understand, Pat? I just can't spend the rest of my life behind no desk.
Well, you can't spend the rest of your life in high school either.
Now I can't figure you out at all. I never went to no high school, you know that. You want me to read you off a list of guys that was through? Only somebody had sense enough to see it weren't so, and they went back to work and had some of the best years of their lives. Why, there's so many, I hardly know where to begin.
Not pitchers.
Yeah, pitchers.
Not when their arms went dead, 100% dead. Diz, it's a fact, and you gotta buy it.
I just don't want to talk about it no more.
Okay. I guess I can stand another beer. You want another ginger ale?
Oh, I'll have me a little straight whiskey, and bring me the bottle, I'll pour my own.
Yes, sir. You been drinking?
You know everything. You and Pat. You tell me. You been telling me everything else?
You're not gonna throw that down your throat.
I'm getting tired of being told what I am gonna do and what I ain't gonna do.
Wasn't that dizzy, Dean?
If you ever ask him directly, make that isn't, not wasn't, if you know what's good for you.
I call.
I got me 2 pair, aces up.
No good, 3 tens.
You can't win them all, but you do figure to win one now and again.
You gotta be in every pot, Diz. That ain't smart.
Could be. Guess you'll have to advance me a stack, Louis.
Sorry, Dizzy.
Oh, what's the matter? My credit no good?
Forget it.
Now, wait a minute. I got a right to win my money back.
Deal the cards, will you, Harry?
I've been playing here with you fellas, lost quite a bit of money last couple of weeks. How do I know this ain't a crooked game?
Get out of here.
Now, wait a minute, Lou. You're getting just too big for your britches. I don't let nobody brush me off. I'm Dizzy Dean.
Yeah, you're Dizzy Dean. You're a has-been. When are you gonna wise yourself?
I'd have waited, but I wasn't sure what time. There's orange juice and fresh coffee, and I can have your eggs.
Well, no, I had breakfast at the Turkish bath. Sure sorry about phoning you, waking you so late.
You didn't awaken me.
But it didn't seem to make much sense coming home in the middle of the night. I had to find me an all-night drugstore to get this here court plaster.
That's perfectly all right.
I might have a cup of coffee at that. You all dressed up or something? You look mighty stylish, too, if you ask me.
Jerome, I've decided to go away for a while.
Going away? Where are you going?
I don't know. It really doesn't make any difference.
You mean you're leaving me?
That isn't exactly the way I'd phrase it, but... Well, a couple of days ago, I went down to the Boston store because I heard there was an opening in the credit manager's office, and I didn't take the job.
Well, I'm sure glad you didn't, because you don't need it. We ain't got to worry for a long time yet.
Yes, we do have to worry. Right now.
Well, now, if it's about my gambling, Pat, I'm sorry. You know that. I've learned my lesson. Last night I found out what kind of fellas I've been gambling with, and I quit. I've learned them who's a has-been.
You may have learned your lesson about gambling, but I've stopped kidding myself that you have any idea of what that lesson means.
Now, Pat, I got a right to ask you...
Oh, I know what a great tragedy the whole thing is. Really, I do. By all rights, you should have many more years ahead of you as the greatest pitcher in baseball.
I am the greatest pitcher in baseball.
You're a child, Iz. A sweet, kind, generous child. But it just isn't possible. It just isn't in the cards for anybody to remain a child all of his life. That's why I wanted to go to work, and that's why I'm going away, because I don't want to be forced to see...
Pat, honey.
Such a familiar pattern. First, you tried to drink away your troubles. But liquor didn't agree with you. You didn't like it. Then you gambled. Well, you lost your money, and you had a fight, so now you're through with gambling.
Pat, honey, the last thing I want in the world is to make you unhappy. Everything's going to be all right. Just yesterday afternoon, I sent a letter to Cleveland, and I should be hearing from the Red Sox any day.
Still hoping some big league ball club will say they've made a mistake, aren't you? Well, they haven't. You have. So I'm leaving just like I said. It's up to you when I come back and whether I come back. That's something you're going to have to work out all by yourself.
Haney is talking to Walsh, and I guess he's going to let him stay in the game. Haney is now leaving the mound, and Burroughs is stepping into the batter's box.
Them Browns sure is getting a licking.
First and second. And,
Well, Johnny, that's just how it is. I'm willing to take any kind of a job, anything. I just got to prove that
I can put you on a route on the north side right away. It won't be easy, but... Oh, excuse me.
You wanted me to remind you about wiring those people in Lexington, Pop.
Thanks, Johnny. To begin with, we'll team you with Joe Meredith. We ought to be getting back from lunch any time now. This announcer of ours annoy you as much as he does me. When I think of the dough we pay that guy.
Ain't nobody annoy me when they talk about baseball. Of course, this fella, he ain't awful good, that's fact. I know Burroughs was going to hit into that double play. He was letting Walsh get ahead of him. I ain't going to talk about baseball no more. That's all behind me. That's over with. From now on, I'm going to be the best doggone salesman St. Louis ever seen. You just give me a couple of weeks.
I wouldn't be surprised if he decided.
Would you mind turning that guy off?
Not at all. As a matter of fact, I promised my father.
Father feels, and, well, so do I, that it's possible for somebody to make baseball as exciting and colorful on the radio as it really is.
Now, I was wondering if some Broadway comedian...
Well, now, you got to be fair. They ain't got it too easy, these fellas trying to tell you what a game is like on the radio. You see, there's 9 men out there, each half of an inning. And it even looks different to each of them 9 guys.
Probably sound like 9 different games, depending on who's telling it.
That's Dizzy Dean, Mr. Kendall.
I know it's Dizzy Dean.
There's one day I remember, Stan Hack, he couldn't get himself a hit. And Gabby Hartnett, he couldn't do nothing but hit. 2 homers, he homered, and a triple. So Hack, he says he never seen a team with as much spart as them Pirates that day. And Gabby Hartnett, he says they ain't got nothing even look like spart.
Same team, same day.
He probably means spirit, Mr. Kendall.
Quiet.
But I'm a pitcher, and I know old Atkins in there for the Pirates. He's pitching one way to Hack and the other way to Hartnett. He's pitching him loosey-goosey to Hack, and Hack, he don't like him loosey-goosey. And Hartnett, he's getting pitches like he's having dinner at his mother's, and she figures he ain't been eating regular, so she's fixing him up everything he likes and making sure he don't get nothing he don't like.
And them two, Hack and Hartnett, they's arguing about sparring.
Go back, Jeff, and tell the sheriff Dirty Jim and his gang are headed for the Rio Grande. I aim to head them off at the Big Pass.
You know.
There's a breeze that sprang up in the last few minutes.
Excuse me.
And it looks like the left-handy hitters is going to have it going for them. Speaking of left-handy hitters, there was only 2 kinds of hitters ever bothered me when I was in there, else I'd still be pitching. And that was left-handy hitters and right-handy hitters. They both of them can be mighty troublesome to a pitcher. And there they go off with the pitch, running like hens eloping. Looks like a hit and run. Only Georgie McQuinn, he only caught part of the ball, and it was the wrong part. And there it goes, ricketing off the dugout fence for a foul, and the runners are going back to their respectable bases. And so it's McQuinn still up at bat for the Brownies. Georgie always reminds me in that batter's box like I remind myself of me when I was pitching. Very confidential at all times. Last time Georgie got on base, he might have scored on Hefner's single if he'd have slud, but he didn't, and he was out by a heifer step. Well, what do you know? Georgie swung and slapped the breeze. Chances are now they'll give him something not too good, unless they figure that's what he's figuring. But then, he might be figuring they're figuring that's what he's figuring. So if they start figuring that he's figuring that they're figuring that's what he's figuring... Folks, it's a shame, but Georgie just struck out. And so that's the end of the Browns rally. And come to think of it, the end of the ball game. And come to think of it, the end of me for today, excepting for my summing up. Well, it was a great game, with everybody giving it everything they had. And you can't do no more than that, and you never should do no less. And for them that wasn't listening in earlier, I'm going to make it a point tomorrow of repeating my receipt for Ozark rabbit stew. That's for you ladies what ain't catched on to the fine points of baseball as yet, technologically speaking.
Sign my book, will you, Mr. Dizzy?
Hey, my regards to Joanne. How is it?
Now, wait a minute. You kids hold your horses just a couple minutes. Old schoolboy Roby, I just won his 16th this afternoon. Hey, Greenberg, you know those 2 homers? That's 39 for the season. Hey, you kids wait right here. He'll be right along. Well, all right.
Jimmy went down to the Travel Bureau and picked up your ticket for St. Louis, Mrs. Dean. I'm sure you'll find it all right.
Thank you very much.
I don't know whether you saw this piece in the Sporting News. I was reading it a little while ago and thought you might be interested.
According to an official spokesman. And now for the local news. The situation between Dizzy Dean and the powerful heads of the teachers and parents organizations that are opposed to his continuing as a baseball announcer is rapidly coming to a head. Dizzy's English, they say, is having a murderous effect upon the impressionable school children of this city, and petitions calling upon the Kendall Company to take him off the air are being widely circulated.
We feel it our duty to protect the children. It's simply preposterous to teach them English and then to allow Mr. Dean to undo everything as soon as they leave school and can get to their radios.
The simple fact is, it's become close to impossible at Mrs. Martin's school as well as mine, even to try to teach correct English.
I really don't know what to say. In our opinion, we are broadcasting the game as a public service, with an occasional reference to our own product, to be sure. And it's been my impression that the public on the whole...
The public is delighted with the broadcasts.
I've been doing the best I know how, ma'am.
I'm sure you have, Mr. Dean, and there's nothing personal in our attitudes, truly.
We all seem to be repeating ourselves to very little purpose. The nub of the matter is this, Mr. Kendall. Miss Johnson and I and the organizations we represent would hate to have to appeal directly to the Federal Communications Commission. But if you leave no other alternative...
Aren't you making a much greater issue out of this?
We would like to have your decision as soon as possible, Mr. Kendall, so that we could then set our own course of action. Good day, gentlemen.
Mr. Kendall, Mr. Dean.
There's no sense in fooling ourselves. We're in a tough spot. They could make a lot of trouble for us. And frankly, I have the question of goodwill to consider.
Pop, Diz already has a greater following than any other baseball broadcaster in America, and I don't think it's fair.
I know, and that's just why. I don't see any other way out of this, Diz, than to leave it up to you. You've got to decide.
I wished I know what was right to decide. I wished... Be all right if I let you know in a day or two, Mr. Kendall?
There's no rush about it. And whatever your decision is, we'll stand right behind it.
Al.
Coming right up, Diz. You ain't having another one of them colas.
You listen on the radio, don't you, Al? Well, now, am I corrupting the idiom of the city's school children and putting to naught, I guess it is, all the tireless endeavors of the teachers to inculcate in them a sense of the historic beauty of the English language?
Who said that?
Old subscriber in tonight's Post-Dispatch. Am I?
I still haven't told Diz where you are, Pat, but you've got to come back. Anyhow, you've got to call him yourself. It's so simple. Pop's on his side, and all it would take is for Diz to say he wants to keep on.
Johnny, to come back now would be the worst thing I could possibly do. I simply can't talk to him now unless I want to undo everything. You see, the only decision that'll be worthwhile at all will be the one that he thinks out, and... Well, I'm so obliged for your call, Johnny. Truly I am. Bye.
And that's how it is, Betty. So what do you think?
Well, frankly, Dizzy, I've been worried since I first read about it. I was wondering, maybe you could work out some kind of a, you know, compromise in your broadcast. Not be quite so colorful like they say.
Well, I thought about that. But I wouldn't know how to go about it. I got to do it my way, giving it everything I got. A person can't be yourself and somebody else, too. Well, I'm Dizzy Dean, and I don't know no other way. Thanks all the same, Benny.
Right, Diz.
Dizzy will be right back, as always, to sum up the highlights of the game for you. We've had enough evidence through your letters and telephone calls that this is really one of the high spots of the day for you. So I'll make my message very brief.
This broadcast is coming to you through the facilities of station KWK.
Folks, I'm going to pass my summing up for today, if you don't mind, because I've made up my mind that this is my last broadcast, and I'd like to use the time to clear up a couple of things, especially to any of you kids that might be listening in. There's been some teachers saying that I've been learning bad English to the kids of St. Louis. Me, I never thought I was doing nothing except telling how a ball game was happening play by play. Well, now it turns out that I'm setting you kids a bad example in the way I talk. Well, get this straight. It ain't smart to talk the way I talk, and I wouldn't talk the way I talk if I could talk any other way. But I never had no education. But you're getting one, and so the thing to do is for you to talk educated. No question of that. Because education is the best thing in the world. I wish that I had more of it. Well, I wish that I had any of it. But you see, I had to quit school in the 3rd grade and get out chopping cotton for a living. But that was just the breaks of the game as far as I was concerned. Believe me, I'd like to have kept on with this job. But if it's true I'm hurting you kids, well, I'm tickled to go. Because I never wanted to hurt nobody. And so, there you are. Only there's one thing I'd like for you to remember. That is, every time you're up at bat, give it everything you got. And be sure to tag all the bases all the time. And now, this Dizzy Dean signing off for the last time. So long.
And that concludes today's broadcast, folks, and now we return you to our main studios. Look, Diz, you...
Jerome?
It's for you. It's for you.
Oh? You can't quit, Diz. We won't let you. Nobody will let you. Our switchboard's been swamped. We've had hundreds of calls, and they all say that... What's that?
I meant every word I said, Johnny. If it's true I'm hurting the kids of St. Louis, I don't want that job another minute. And this is something you can't decide and your pa can't decide. And nobody can't decide except me. Of course, anytime.
You're wonderful, darling. I'm so proud of you.
Pat, I missed you something terrible. Well, if that's Johnny calling back, I'm going to make it real plain to him this time. Hello.
Mr. Dean, this is Miss Johnson. Our entire committee heard your farewell broadcast this afternoon. We discussed the issue at great length, and after due deliberation, we decided to...
What she wants to say, Mr. Dean, is that we're ashamed of ourselves. We'll keep teaching the children English, and you keep on learning them baseball. Okay, Dizzy?
Okay, Miss Martin, thank you a lot. That was that principal from East St. Louis that's been after me. They want us to keep on broadcasting.
That phone hasn't stopped ringing since I got in the house.
That fixes that.
I wonder...
Hi, Miss Dean.
Well, hello, Roscoe.
We didn't know you were back. We were wondering, you see. Can Dizzy come out and play?
Well, I don't know.
Out with you.